Hello, NYWCites. I am the administrator of the NYWC message board, Robert Lottie. House of Madness 2017. Oh, what a night. That's one way I can describe the very show. But without further ado, let's get to the results, shall we? As I came into the building, there was a pre-show match that got underway as Joey Conway defeated Jacob Tarasso. I apologize if I got his name wrong. Okay. We then had the main show, which kicked off with the Man Bun Jesus, Johnny Radke, taking on yours truly, Alex Reynolds of High Society. Just as the match was getting underway, Flawless Blake Morris and King Mega of High Society, they actually went over the rail and sat in the front row watching this very match, which saw Alex Reynolds defeat Johnny Radke. Next up, we had tag team action as The Rep, Nate Carter and Dave McCall, defeated the Punk Relics, Jaden Valo and Ugo. Valo came to the ring with a megaphone, which is not quite like mine. Up next, we saw the Man of Steel Mike Verner was set to face Talon one-on-one in a return bout from Till I Collapse. Talon came to the crowd and attacked Verner from behind, but then all of a sudden, Rex Lawless comes out, puts his crutches down, hits the ring, hits Talon with a few clotheslines, and the referee basically threw the match out and said it was a no contest, which I can't understand, because the bell never rang. How could the match be declared a no contest if the bell never rang to start the match? I don't get that. Up next was an 8-person tag team match as the Extricated, Devil Doll, Bam Sullivan, Mouse, and Aiden Bale did battle with the Awakening, Devil's Outlaw Stockade, Bulldozer Matt Tremont, Tara Calloway, and G-Raver. Or was it just Raver for this particular event? And this match was very chaotic. They went out to the floor. At one point, Raver had tattoo needles, or I don't know if those were tattoo needles or needles used for body piercers use, and he was going to use them on Mouse, and the referee stopped him and said, "Don't do it." And Raver pushed the referee down and proceeded to stick those needles in Mouse's head. And then eventually, Jeff Cannonball, Tara Calloway's boyfriend, comes out, and Stockade says, "Jeff, what are you doing here?" It appeared Cannonball was going to attack Bam, but instead he attacked Stockade, and I forgot if it was Stockade or Tremont who wanted to go out with Cannonball right then and there, and Cannonball leaves the ring with the Extricated. I believe the match was a no contest. There was no official announcement made by ring announcer Andy Miller. Up next, we saw Angelo Andrews with Crusher Dugan go one-on-one with the Greek god Papa Don. During this matchup, Man of Steel Mike Verta and Talon come through the curtain brawling on the ramp, and in the meantime, Papa Don ended up putting Angelo Andrews down with a pile driver and getting the victory. Up next was a mixed tag team match for both the Fusion and Starlet Championships, as we saw Boy Diva Rick Cataldo and Randy Summers challenge Willow Nightingale and the Big O for those respective belts. Highlight of the match. One highlight in the match: Nightingale beats Cataldo in thumb wrestling and arm wrestling. Eventually, O and Willow retained their championships when O pinned Summers. After the match, Cataldo takes the microphone and thanks the crowd, whether they love him or hate him, or hate to love him, or love to hate him. High Society comes out, and Alex Reynolds takes the microphone, and he says every time he tries to say, "I don't care if it's 2017, the microphone kept cooping out. Why is it, NYWC, why is it every damn show these microphones go wrong on somebody? It's always happening. I don't get it." And eventually, High Society is looking to attack Cataldo, but the reigning champion, Bull James, comes out And he tells Blake Morris, who he scheduled to face, about, I guess, the match. Well, the match did get underway, and just before it did, Cataldo low-blowed Bull. And then the match got underway, despite Cataldo, King Mega, and Alex Reynolds attempting to interfere. Bull James defeated Blake Morris to retain the heavyweight championship. After the match, Reynolds gets a hold of the championship belt, hits Bull in the face with it, and left the ring with the belt. With the addition of Rick Cataldo, I wonder where Candy Cartwright was, who appeared with High Society at Till I Collapse. Okay, up next it was time for the House of Madness Halloween costume contest. And all of a sudden, Real American comes out, and it's JT Kazin dressed as Hulk Hogan. And then all of a sudden, Pomp and Circumstances plays, and out comes the Macho Man. And then all of a sudden, Spider comes out as General Romero. I don't know if General Romero is not going to be in NYWC anymore. What happened there? Machbo took the microphone. He says to the general, he says, "You were supposed to be Tito Santana." Eventually, they have the costume contest underway, and mostly children were in the ring, and it was won by Colton, who was dressed up as Enzo Amore. Someone was dressed as Jason Voorhees. There was one man in the ring as Captain Jack, which is Johnny Depp's role in those Pirates of the Caribbean movies. There was a lady, I don't know if she was the Green Arrow or Robin Hood. She was sitting in the front row. I don't think she entered the ring for the contest. And just as everybody was getting out of the ring and getting back into the crowd, all of a sudden, out comes Tinder Tom with Ash Flanagan and Kasim Rana. And they ended up having a 6-man tag team match, which saw, I guess, new Beer Belly Bandits defeat Tinder Tom, Ash Flanagan, and Kasim Rana. At that point, it was off to intermission, so the steel cage could be set up for the huge main event for the tag team championship, and sure took a while for them to set it up. Then, finally, after quite the intermission, the ring was set up, and all of a sudden, it was time for our main event, which saw, it was the J-listers, J-Red and Git, the Benson Bros, CJ and Rad Brad, and before they entered the cage, the Born and Bred, Jesse Vane and Anthony Lacerra, attack the Bensons from behind, and they go into the cage, and the match gets underway. This match was so wild. There were trash cans, brooms, a pumpkin of all things, which broke over somebody's head. Jay Red was like hanging from the top of the sportatorium, only to be caught as he jumped and powerbombed by CJ. Git ended up bleeding. Thumbtacks were brought into play, and CJ Blackhole slammed Vane on those thumbtacks, and after that happened, J Red and Git got on top of Vane and pinned him, eliminating Born and Bred from the match. Eventually, the Bensons there was a boogie board, I believe that's called, wrapped in barbed wire that CJ rocket launched Rad Brad off the top rope while Brad's holding on to the barbed wire boogie board, and I forgot if it was Git or J Red who ended up eating that, and as a result, the Benson Bros are the newly crowned NYWC Tag Team Champions. Time for the personal notes. It was great seeing John, Ashling, Shane, Forge, Joe Bernard, Jim Lundis, Dan Acosta, who I had not seen in forever, seemingly. Who else I remember catching at this event? Joey. Dang it, who else can remember seeing it? I gotta say, this was quite the crowd that showed up, and this was like one of those crowds that was really on fire, and I don't think it was just due to those that came to see the Benson Bros. And I think most of them were sitting behind me throughout this event. A lot of good-looking chicks in the crowd, too. Okay. Now, time for some personal notes. Not a bad view. Some lady behind me when Mike Verner was in the ring waiting for Talon. Why are you playing chicken? I thought this was wrestling. Lady behind me, don't know if it was the same one, when G. Raver was on Stockade's shoulders. I know which one of you is creepier. G. Raver, the lady in the crowd, don't know if it was the first or second one I referred to earlier, when G. Raver and Mouse were in the ring during the 8-person tag. Hey! Stockade threw my megaphone at Aiden Bale before he proceeded to go to town with my megaphone, and as a result, the batteries fell out. And huge thank you to ringside photographer Amy for retrieving everything but one battery. And as a result, I couldn't use the megaphone for the rest of the night after that happened. Yeah. Have a good night. I watch his YouTube channel. If I miss a show, I watch his videos. One lady who saw me in the parking lot as I was walking out after the show was done. I don't know if you do watch my videos, I don't know if you would have time to join the NYWC message board, which is in the description box. In case you don't know, sure would like to have some new board members. And for those of you who have not seen the board as of late, you will notice I have a whole folder of every single no punches pulled interview I've done with many NYWC roster members. NYWC will be having 2 events in the month of November as they return to the Coram Fire Department in Coram, New York on Saturday, November 11th, which happens to be Veterans Day, as they present Firestorm 4, The Legion Will Rise, which I understand a new Foreign Legion has been ignited, and I don't know if they're going to be regulars, it's going to be a regular thing or just for this occasion. And they return home to the Sportatorium on Saturday, November 25th, which is 2 days after Thanksgiving, as they present Draw the Line. Now, on that night, I would like to see Bull James one-on-one with Alex Reynolds for the Heavyweight Championship. The newly crowned Tag Team Champions, the Benson Bros, take on the now former champions, Born and Bred. I'd like to see Man of Steel Mike Verno one-on-one with Talon, hopefully to settle that predicament once and for all. And I'd like to see a rematch between Angelo Andrews and the Greek god Papa Don. Oh boy. Well, I did not go to BK Grasso's after the show due to being so tired from not only the show, but also working. Darn. Still don't know what happened to that one battery that was not, that couldn't be found. I don't know if it wound up underneath the ring or it was somewhere within the crowd and may have been like swept up by now. I don't know what happened. Another match I can think of possibly for the next show, maybe Jeff Cannonball against Stockade or Cannonball against Matt Tremont one-on-one. Dang it, what the hell else I can think of here? Whew. Hold it. What? Larry Legend, I don't know if you're going to be back at NYWC. I sure hope you are going to be back. Ugh. Oh boy, I guess this will do it, folks. To apologize, I feel I've slacked off on this one, but definitely, House of Madness 2017 definitely topped last year's. And not only will I say NYWC rules, but please join the NYWC message board, which will be a link. There will be a link in the description box. NYWC rules, folks.